Hello, I'm Foulplay Gaming and welcome to this very special Achroma video. I am here again today with Wayward Nun.
Hello there.
And we have got an absolute surprise because we're going to be taking a first look at the new expansion for the card game Achroma, The Fall of Flutterby. But before we get started, this video is sponsored. I wonder who by. This video is sponsored by Achroma, the ever-evolving card game created by Realm Rudder Studios. Achroma is a beautiful 2 to 6 player fantasy card game set across 5 mystical realms where a dark energy called Achroma is spreading and diminishing the magical life force known as Chroma. In Achroma, you take your turns in phases to attack your foes to control the board, deploy cards to strengthen your own, and resolve abilities on your cards to drain, steal, and gain your way to victory in this fast-paced, ever-changing card game. I personally love Achroma because it's easy to learn but difficult to master the strategies. And what's great is with each realm being self-contained, you don't have to worry about sinking money into every new release just to keep up with the meta like other card games. You could happily purchase just one realm and never worry about better cards coming out. Or you could be a hoarder and collector like me and just buy all of them anyway. To find out more about Achroma, and maybe even purchase your first realm, then click on the link down below. There's also a link to the Achroma community Discord should you wish to join the community and get involved with some of our games. Thank you again to Achroma and Realm Rudder Studios for sponsoring this video. And on that note, a quick disclaimer, this is technically an unpaid sponsor. They are not paying me for this video, nor am I making any commission from this video. It is an unpaid sponsored video because they have sent me the cards early to be able to make these videos, but that's about it. So therefore, keep in mind that the opinions of this video are still truly my own. They have not, asked me to say anything else on the video. Anyway, thank you, enjoy. Okay, so what this video is going to be then, folks, is we're going to take a first look at the Fall of Flutterby cards. Now, thank you very much again to the creators of Achroma for sending us these early so we can record this video for you. We have avoided all temptation to look at these cards before recording, so this is going to be a first look for all of us. The only thing that we've seen so far is what has been posted in the sneak peek channel of the Discord. Now, this video is not going to be a deep dive into strategies and combos and stuff like that. We are literally just going to have a quick look at every card, appreciate the artwork, and see what abilities we have got here. And then we'll have a look at the strategies in another video. So, let's get started. Okay, so starting with the fact that thankfully this realm does come with its own player turn card, just like in the Siege of Draco Temple. The front of this card is no different to the one you will have seen in previous realms. And on the back, we've got a card which explains some of the new abilities in this realm, like Squish, Splat. I'm not going to read them out from this card here. We'll talk about them more when we actually have a look at the cards. But the nice thing is we do have another keywords card here. We'll start by actually having a look at the promo card, which is really pretty. So I think, this image is not new to us. We've seen this as part of it's the poster. It's kind of like the poster picture for Flutterby. It's a steel 2, cost 4, which actually is exactly the same as the promo cards for the other realms as well. But yeah, super pretty card. Okay, so starting with the Legendaries. Now, these Legendaries have been shown in the sneak peek. So we got Spiral Traitorous. Traitorius. I'm always bad with the names. So he is a 5-cost character. Interesting that he's got a mixture of Achroma and Chroma shards as part of his shard count.
I think it's because they used to be fairies.
Yes, that is true, actually. Yes, used to be fairies, but now a pixie. His ability is in the resolve is based on the amount of pixies and fairies you got on your canvas. So I guess he's a bit of a combo. For every pixie and fairy you have on your canvas, you'll get a steal an extra shard. Pretty cool.
Lovely.
We'll have a look at all the Legendaries first. So then we've got Sprat Morale. Very cute little guy. He is a steel 2. So it looks like, I think he's one of the painters. And his ability is Splat 1. So what Splat is, it has been announced in the Discord. Splat is an ability where Splat, that means once per turn you can splat somebody. By splatting another character, they will have an extra +1 in their resolve for that turn only. You can technically splat other people, especially if you're working together. You can't splat the same character. So, for example, if these two were on the same same canvas, I could splat Spiral, and in the resolve, he would still get all of his steal, and he'd also get a +1. So he's pretty cool. We then have Copper Joss. So she is a +3.
I like her.
She's really cool. Costs 4, but she gets to splat 3, and she can't be attacked. It's basically self-protection.
If I was to rate her now, S tier.
Yeah.
Just going by the looks of it, but we'd have to play.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, +3, splat 3, and can't be attacked. That's incredible. She's really, really cool.
One thing that I'm excited to see, actually, just by seeing those 3 legendaries, is they all have different wings, and I want to know why.
Yeah, I actually asked that in the Discord, but they didn't answer yet because they didn't want to give away the lore. So the next legendary is Dr. Cornelius Hugh. So he is a +2 character, costs 6 to play. He gets to splat 1 per turn, and you also get to choose 2 of the coloured shards, and the shard value of those cards in the player hands is reduced by the chosen shards. So this is a new mechanic for Achroma. So just to be very clear how this mechanic works, as far as I'm aware, you choose 2 coloured shards, so let's say red and blue, and it would mean that whilst Cornelius Hugh is on the board, any cards in your hand that have red or blue, would cost 1 less shard. But critically, it does it the same for everybody. So your opponent would also cost less. And also, if you then, whilst he's out, if you want to trade a card that has blue or red in it, it's going to give you 1 less trade as well. So there's lots of different uses for this ability, because you could do it to make your own cards cheaper. You could do it to try and stop somebody from trading their way to victory. There's lots of different ways you can think of it.
Man.
But yeah, really, really cool. The next legendary
Voldemort.
is basically Voldemort. King Craven Traitorous.
Tratorius.
So he is a -2, and his ability, it costs 6, but his ability is cards cannot gain or steal in the resolve step, which kind of it's an interesting one. It basically forces your opponent to be trading. Really good to stop somebody from getting up to 30.
But draining is fine.
No, cannot gain or steal. So,
steal,
draining is
but
fine.
But you can drain.
Yes, but it does mean that you yourself have to keep trading to gain shards as well, because if you had other steal cards out, So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he'll be played. And then the last legendary is Guardians of Flutterby Falls. So this is, I think this one's a really strong card. Blocks 4, costs 6, then you can also splat 4. Remember, splat means that once per turn, you can basically give somebody else. He's essentially a block 4 and a +4, provided you have another character or location that you can splat. And once per, actually, let me just double check splat. You can, any other card.
Any card on
so it doesn't have to be a character.
canvas.
And once per turn, you can defend another character as if this character is strength of 6. So it's basically like, it can't be attacked itself, but once per turn, you can use it to defend and basically be a 6/6 character. That's insane. That's such a good legendary. Okay, so that is the legendary. So let's look at the rares. So let's firstly look at the rares in Spiral Traitorious's things. Okay.
Oh my god.
Let's look at 2 at a time. So firstly on the left here we've got Infiltration. This has been put into the Discord.
It looks like Dishonored.
It's so cool. So it costs 4. It's an action. Cards on other canvases cannot gain, steal, or splat until your next turn. So it's basically like a action version of Spiral's ability.
That is going to be rough in multiplayer games.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good way. They put it in the Discord, say it's a really good way of kind of slowing down somebody. If they, if you think, in the next turn or 2, that they are going to win the game, it just kind of gives you an extra turn.
Yeah.
And then we've got Akron Corrupter, which is a -1, costs 2. When attached, so it's an object of power. When an attached character attacks, erase a character or location. Oh, so it's exactly the same as Igneous from, the red dragon from Draco, where when you attack, you can erase a character or a location. Now, just to be very clear about the rules, when it says when this character attacks, that doesn't mean you actually have to have done the attack. It's just when you choose to attack, you can erase a character or location. So you could erase the character that you were going to attack in the first place and then not die. That is a really powerful rare. Obviously, it is a rare.
Yeah.
Next
and
one.
it only costs 2.
And it only costs 2, yeah. Next one. Ooh, Sorono.
I love it.
Sorono. So that's a steal 2. Costs 4 to play. The action is you get to choose 1. Each other player must erase a character, or each other player must erase a location. Wow. So, I mean, obviously the opponents have to choose which character or location they want to erase. But the fact that that's kind of similar to one of the drakes from Siege Draco Temple, but it's like everybody has to.
Yeah.
Wow, and that's going to be probably better in a multiplayer game, 3+.
Definitely.
But even still, the fact it's still a 4/4 character with a steel 2, that's amazing. And then, look at this. Look how cool this looks. The last rare
I want to live there.
here is, for this deck, is Throne Room. So it's another steel 2, costs 5, and you choose 1 Chroma Shard. Cards on any canvas with that color can't gain, steal, or splat. Wow. And you get to draw a card in action.
Damn.
So again, it is another... sorry, I showed this card earlier, but it's actually this one, sorry, that is the gain or steal. When I spoke about Infiltration, I said that Infiltration was a kind of an action version of this ability. I put the wrong legendary out. But yeah, so it looks like if we put these 3 out, these 3 share abilities. So all 3 of these are cards that mean that you can stop somebody from gaining or stealing. But Infiltration is a one-off thing. King Craven is obviously, whilst he's on the board. And yeah, Throne Room is the same thing, that whilst Throne Room is out, locations are definitely much harder to get. We only choose 1 color. That's the only difference though. Whereas actually with Infiltration and Traitorius, that is everybody. At least I guess what makes it slightly less OP is that, it's only 1 color. But even still, really cool card. All right, so...
Next set of rares?
Yeah, let's do the next set of rares. I'm just desperately trying to make sure that I don't mix up the decks at the moment. Because until the decks actually... We're recording this before the actual release, and the last thing I want to do is mix up the decks. So this is the next rare. This is part of the... For reference, this is from the Splat Morail palette.
Sprat.
So Wincy Rustweather. Oh, they're cute.
That's adorable.
So it's a +1 card. Costs 3, and you can splat X. X is each other character and location on your canvas. Okay, so kind of similar to in the Curse of Curdle Hill decks. Looking at you, Huxton, those sort of cards where they benefit from having more cards out.
Yep.
So
and you get to draw a card as well with them.
Yeah, massive splat potential and a draw card. That is for cost 3, very very good rare. So far, I haven't seen a single rare or legendary that's been like. Yeah, so far they've all looked powerful, which is great. Now we have seen this one in the Discord. This is Dovetail. She is a steel 2, which is interesting for a Chroma based character. She costs 4, and you can splat 1, just a single splat, and you've got the explanation on there of what splat does. So the fact she's a steel, pretty good. Pays herself back in 2 turns. This is a new one.
Ooh.
Prism Sprayer. This is an object of power. So it costs 4. It is a +2. When this card is erased, you may attach it to another character on your canvas.
Oh, damn.
So it's kind of, I guess, slightly similar to Jade Pendant.
Whereby... but it gets to stay on the canvas rather than be returned to your hand.
Yeah, and I guess it's not as infinite as Jade Pendant, because Jade Pendant basically never goes in your dregs unless...
This only goes to a character if you have another one on your canvas.
Yeah, so you do have to rely on having multiple characters out, and if someone does a board wipe, then it's gone anyway. But even still, the fact that, compared to Jade Pendant, where you have to then pay another 3 shards to get it out, at least with Prism Sprayer, it pays for itself. I can already see that this particular palette is all about having lots of characters out.
That's cosplayable as well.
That is cosplayable as well, yeah. Speaking of which, this is an action we have seen in the Discord, Double Trouble. This is going to be an incredibly powerful card.
Look how pretty that is.
It's so pretty. Once deployed, this card becomes a copy of a character on any canvas, gaining all of its abilities. It's essentially a Mirror Sanctum for characters. And yes, it costs 3, so, that is infinitely powerful. It's, that's almost going to be a staple in any deck. Why wouldn't you want that? Okay, so that is all of the rares for Sprat's deck. Now, let me just double check, but I'm pretty certain that the rares in, the rares in King Craven's deck is the same. Presumably, Copper Joss's rares, are the same as the ones we looked at.
Yep.
So now we're going to look at these two palettes. Presumably, their rares will be the same as well. So this is Cornelius Hughes' deck. So we've got, oh my gosh, that's so cute. We've got Mrs. Potts. Have we had a Mr. Potts yet? I'm trying. No. So Mrs. Potts is a +2 character. She's a heroic character. Costs 3. Once during your turn, you may dig for a fairy character. Okay, so a return of obviously dig. Digging is always really important, especially in decks that have lots of characters.
She's adorable.
She's adorable. Her. Not the most kind of like. Well, I guess the fact it's once per turn you can dig. Yeah, that is pretty good actually.
And she has a +2, which is good.
Yeah, gain is gain. We then have Cocoon Lantern. That is such a pretty... I just like any of these
God.
cards that have like foliage and skies in them. They're just so
Yeah.
beautiful.
The location cards for me are those are the ones that I most look forward to looking at, just because I know the art on those are going to be amazing.
So this is actually the location. Oh no, sorry, yeah, ignore me. So yeah, this gain 2 costs 4, so it'll pay itself back in 2 turns. But once per turn, when a character is erased from your canvas, you gain the character's erased shards.
Oh,
wow!
So if you erase something like a legendary,
you know, the
if
cost
you erase Cornelius Hugh,
yep.
you get 6 shards back.
Yeah. So essentially, if you're playing a deck where you have loads of characters out, you have that location. That is kind of a deterrent. You know, your opponent might want to play something that will board wipe, but if they do that, and if it just wipes the characters, I should say, then you're going to gain all those shards back and potentially win the game there and then. That is going to be a massive deterrent.
It's going to be really hard to counter that.
Next, we have Pixie Prison. Oh, that looks so cool. Oh yeah, a bit of an odd. So it's a gain 2, an action, erase a character, or erase all Pixie characters. Well, there's a board wipe.
Damn.
That's the,
yeah.
I think that's one of the first board wipes we've seen. So, not board wipes, but you know, like massive wipes we've seen. But yeah, wow, very, very strong card. And it only costs 3, so it pays itself back pretty quickly. But I guess once you've done the initial action, you know, it's just a +2 location at that point.
I half expected something like that to be a restrain kind of thing, but I don't. There's not restrain
No,
or
that
claim
is-
in this deck, but because it's a prison, you know,
You'd
that's what I
expect
mean.
it
Like,
to be, yeah.
yeah.
So obviously for each realm, they like to have their own kind of set ability card. So in Cedar Draco Temple, it's not protection. It's defend and research.
That's it.
In the first one, Curse of Kodo Hill, it's obviously claim and restrain, and in this one, it is squish and splat. So we next have Splat Square. Speaking of splat, it is another great location. It's +3, costs 5. But all characters on your canvas get splat 1.
Ooh.
Wow. So again, that's not an action. So that means that every single turn, each of your characters can splat each other. So, you know, even if you only had, put it this way, even if you only had 2 characters out, they splat each other. That means in the resolve phase, you're now getting +3 from this card and plus technically another 2 from the 2 that are splatting each other. So as long as you have 2 characters on the board, this card pays for itself in the first turn.
Yeah.
And you get to draw a card.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Hot diggity dog.
Okay, and just a triple check, but I'm almost certain that the legendary palette of Guardian of the Flutterby Falls presumably, yes, has the same res.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is all of the legendaries and rares. So now let's have a little look at all of the commons and uncommons.
I'm excited for the uncommons, to be honest. I feel like uncommons are underrated in this.
Obviously, there is going to be a mixture of how many of them. We're going to start by having a look at the palette of Spiral. So we firstly have Carmela Tratorius.
Oh, she's pretty.
She is very pretty. -1, cost 2, and you get to erase a location or object. For 2 costs, that's really powerful. To erase a location, that is very strong.
I demand to know, is she a daughter of Craven?
She is a wife. She is a wife of Craven Tratorius. The wife of Craven Tratorius is the reason he was able to come to power. So,
oh, damn.
Yeah, she is the wife of him.
Nice. And Spiral, is he the son?
I think
troubled
he's the son.
child.
Yeah,
he never quite got out of it. Nice.
So now we have Skynet. That's cool. This is an action, costs 3. Erase a character with any of the colors.
Damn, yeah. That's pretty standard. That's
just erase a Chroma character.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Cost 3. I'm noticing a trend here that we've got a lot of cards so far that I've seen that are erase this or erase that.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a very tit for tat sort of realm. Castle Gates. Oh, look at that lightning. That looks so cool.
I want to live there too.
Fallen Stone. So yeah, Castle Gates -2, cost 4, but you may dig for a pixie. That's quite expensive just for a one-off dig.
I think you need to have a pixie in mind, and it needs to be
it's going to have to be a legendary
pixie.
or something,
yeah,
isn't it?
Exactly. It's got to be legendary or rare.
Yeah, I maybe think that might be a bit too expensive, but I guess we'll find out. You know, we haven't actually played anything yet. This one we have seen in the Discord, Role Reversal. Ooh. Costs 3, and you get to swap a character on your canvas with a character on another canvas, which is absolutely, you know, that's massive. Let's be honest. That's the equivalent of claiming. It does mean you have to have a character out first, but you could just play a cheap character and then play Role Reversal. Yeah. Something I will mention about this that they put in the Discord, in case you are playing against a Curse of Curdle Hill deck, you cannot swap a character that is restrained. Yeah. Restrained is still like completely off the board.
What about claimed? You can take a claimed character?
Yeah, because a claimed character's in play, yeah. Now, surprisingly, considering this is a Achroma deck, you'd expect all the cards to be kind of black or grey in colour. We've got a nice little flower. Split Decision.
It's pretty.
It's an action. Draw. Costs 4. That's quite expensive. Draw 2 cards. Deploy one of them for free and discard the other. This has been shown in the Discord, actually. Yeah, this is a risk v reward. Costs quite a bit, but the fact that, you know, if you pick up your Legendary or one of those rares, amazing, but you do have to discard one of the other ones. So some people, you know, this is going to be a love or hate it card for those that like those sort of risky
plays. It all comes down to luck and card draw.
Yeah. Oh my god, I've just seen the next one, but I'm going to play this one first. So, Soaking Stone, very cool card. It's a steel 1.
Oh, that's water coming off it.
Yeah,
I'm viewing this at an angle, so it's
yeah, it's bit... like it looks like there's maybe you know,
like a waterfall.
Maybe there's a water, like maybe a floating mountain up there with
Flutterby Falls. Yeah, so it's a waterfall.
Yeah, so it costs 2. It's a steel 1. Nice and really simple. Yeah. You know that I like little cards like that. Easy to place down, gets you a steel and.
Sorry, I just read the lore as well. No matter how much chroma you paint the soaking stone with, the stone always drains it.
Interesting. Next then, look how cute this guy is.
Oh my god!
Fungua?
Fungua? Fungua?
It's like a Pokemon, but in a
god, it's poisonous!
Oh yeah. Oh wow. So this is our first poisonous card we've seen in this realm so far. So this is cost 2, poisonous. It literally is a rabid dog minus the steel. You could argue it's a slightly worse rabid dog because it hasn't got the steel, but either way, it's nice to see some poisonous in there. Oh my gosh, we literally look at some of these characters. We've got a little imp. Baby. Wow, I think that's really strong. Only costs 1 to play. To draw a card is already great.
Yeah,
and it's a -1.
Yeah. It's like a better, what's it called? Hardened Survivor or something? Or Lone Survivor.
Yeah.
That's it, in Curdle Hill.
Now obviously we've got a couple of those. Morag. Now this again, we have seen them in the Discord. Steel 1, cost 3. Now this allows you to squish. So squish, we haven't spoken about this yet. It is the opposite of splat. So squish 1 means that you give another character -1. It's on any canvas. That I can't see a reason why you would give it to yourself, because otherwise you're minusing it from yourself. You're going to give it to someone else. But yeah, cool card. Interesting to see how that plays out. We got Ravaged Elites. So costs 2 to play. He's a -1 and gives you another squish.
It's Voldemort's clone.
Interesting when you compare these two. That these are literally exactly the same. The difference is that Morag costs 1 more, but it's stealing. Yeah. Which kind of makes sense, I guess. Otherwise, they're basically the same card. We've got the Ravaged one.
Oh, damn.
He is quite the pixie.
What is in his hand? Is that dirt?
Crushing a rock or something? Yeah. Only costs 1, and you get to squish 1. So it's kind of a quick way of minusing. I guess he's only going to be really good as a quick way to, you know, stop your opponent from maybe winning, or maybe if you can attach an object to him. This one we've seen in the Discord, Akron Bomb.
Oh, damn.
Very, very cool card. I love that, how Akron's like spilling out of it. So it's -1, and you get to, again, action squish 1. And it's not much extra power, I should mention. That is, imagine equipping like...
just give him a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, you're literally just giving a character a nuclear bomb.
Don't drop it.
Yeah.
Unless it's on fairies.
Very cool. Ooh, I like the look of this card. Snuff Out as an action.
Oh, it's cool.
Cost 2. The action is you get to squish 2. So yeah, cost 2, but you're, you know, in this turn you're minusing an extra 2. Very cool.
It's very well illustrated.
Yeah. Blackout, we've seen this one in the Discord. It costs 2, and you get to drain. Oh yeah, so this is actually going to be one of the most like sort out cards, I reckon.
Definitely.
Blackout, drain 3 shards from all locations with any chroma. That is essentially a complete board clear potentially. Obviously, any cards with 4 or more shards are safe, but you know that's only really rares and legendaries. You know, if we've looked at already, we've looked and seen that some of the other palettes rely on having loads of characters out. So a bit like how you do in Curse of Curdle Hill. This is like, yeah, that's really powerful.
Yeah, well, there's a card in Curdle Hill that does something similar, and I'm trying to remember what it is.
Block Out the Sun, maybe?
No, that's just getting rid of.
Drain the Woods.
That's it.
Yeah, it's like it's basically like a Drain the Woods. And I'm pretty certain Drain the Woods costs 3, and this only costs 2.
Drain the Woods is an uncommon as well.
Yeah. So we've next got Corrupted Groves. It's a heroic location.
Can we live there too?
Yeah, sure. Only costs. It costs 3. The shard value of cards whilst in the player's hand is reduced. Okay, so it's this. We've seen this kind of reduction of cost but this is for Achroma. So whilst you have this down, all cards in your hand with a black shard cost 1 less, but also critically trade for less. And that will also be for other people you're playing against. But very, very good. And then the last card we have in this palette is Squish. It's Achroma Factory. We've seen this in the Discord.
It's London.
Yeah, it's London. Costs 2, and you could squish for each pixel on your canvas. Very similar to Akron Haven in the Drake deck.
Yeah.
Although I guess that's steel. This is squish, which is minus, but even still, very, very cool. And now, obviously, there are more cards than that in that palette, but I obviously skipped past ones that were duplicates. Now, I'm going to have a very quick skim through Craven's deck and just double check. I would imagine that all of the cards we're going to see are the same. It almost certainly will be. There might be like different amounts of them, but yeah, cool. So next then, let's have a look at the commons and uncommons in the painter decks, which is going to be Copper Joss and Morale.
Sprat. Great name.
So first things first, we've seen this one in the Discord. Sorry for the camera shake there.
Pretty.
We've got Squad Leader. So we've got Squad Leader. Costs 4, is a gain 2, and she can splat X for each other character on your canvas. So she costs quite a lot, but I feel like you want to put her out when you have obviously loads of loads of other. You'd put her out last when you've got loads of other characters out. Because if you have at least 2 other characters out when you play her, then she'd pay for herself in that one turn. And more than that would be fantastic. That is such a nice looking card. Advanced Scouting Party. I want that as a pin. Creators of the game, please make that as a pin. I will buy it. Costs 5. Wow, that's very expensive for an uncommon card.
True.
Draw. You know what? I might feel free to tell me in the comments or someone tell me in the Discord. I'm pretty certain that's the most expensive uncommon card. Draw 3 cards and trade one of them. So that's quite strong actually. Gaining 3 cards, trading one of them. Yeah, I can see that being really useful. Infirmary. I like the lighting of that one.
Yeah.
Costs 3, +1, and you may dig for a fairy.
It's just like the dig for a pixie one.
Yep, very nice. We've seen Split Decision.
Yep.
Giant Prism.
That's cool.
Wow, that's a very cool card. Again, another 5 costing uncommon. Wow, quite expensive cards here, but good for trading. Is an action. Erase all oh my gosh. Erase all characters with a Achroma shard, and you gain +2 for each card erased this way. Holy crap. Playing that against any of those Achroma decks, that's insane. You know, erase all... Oh, sorry, it's characters, not location. It's only characters, not locations.
Yeah.
That would be too powerful.
But
otherwise.
there's also cards in the Akron decks that will tell you, if any of your things get erased, then you get...
That is true. There are counters, but even still, like, if they, really, they only need to have 3 characters out, and this card not only pays for itself, but gain 1 shard and lose the board. That is really strong. So the next card is Flutterby. So it costs 2. Choose 1 location and 1 character. They can't drain, steal, or prevent until the start of your next turn. So again, it's very similar. It's surprising considering this is in the painter deck, but very similar to the King Craven cards. It's this way that you can choose a location, a character, and they cannot drain, steal, prevent until the start of your next turn. Yeah, quite a powerful action to save you in the middle. We've got a role reversal in there, but we've seen that. Excessive paint pots. Excess paint pots, sorry. Costs 1. Draw the top card of your palette and trade it. That's risk of your reward, because for only 1, this is, I think, a card you would play in one of those situations where it's mid-game, you've had your board wiped, you've only got 3 shards, and you're like, God damn it, how am I supposed to get back from this?
Yeah.
This is exactly what this card is for. Pay 1 shard at, taking a risk. Even if you pick up your legendary next and have to trade it, that's at least 6 shards that you now have. Yeah, very interesting. Oh, that's pretty. Full palette. Cost 2, it is an action. Splat 6.
Damn.
Wow. So you may give another card on any canvas +6 until your next turn. That is... you know what this is similar to? This is similar to Quintessence from...
Abundance of Quintessence.
Yeah, from Curdle Hill.
Yes.
Because in that one, you played a card that cost 3, but you instantly got 5 back. This is, play it for 2.
It costs 2, but you get...
Yes, it costs 2, but you get 5 back, so net gain of 3. So in this one, it's costing you 2, splat 6, so it's a net gain of 4 in your turn. It's just basically a way of gaining 4 shards. Very nice. We've got Senior Painter.
Ooh.
I wanted to read it as Senor Pinto.
Senor Ding Dong.
That costs 3, +1, and a splat 1. Relatively kind of standard card. Looks pretty good. Got a couple of those in that deck. Oh, look at his face. We've got a trainee painter. So it costs 1 to play. He's a +1.
He looks clumsy.
And his action is you get to splat 1, but it's only an action for that 1 turn. But you know what? That's quite strong. You know, he pays for himself with his own resolve, but he actually essentially doubles the shards. You know, you get an extra shard back. And, you know, considering we've already seen how powerful it is, this is very similar to Curdle, isn't it? Where it's going to be all about having characters on the board.
Yeah.
We got a location called Lost Property. We haven't seen that many block actually, apart from the legendary which we had here earlier.
Yeah.
This is actually the first block other block that we've seen. Action: find any object of power. Costs 3 for 1 block, and you get to find an object. I guess that is very specific to the deck you're playing, but we have seen some strong objects. We've seen this one in the Discord. We've got Ballistics Belt. Costs 2, it's a +1, and you get to splat 1. Nice little object.
Easy.
Yeah, all good. Get a couple of those. Again, I would definitely have this as a pin. Defensive position as an action. Okay, this is cool. Costs 2, and all of your characters get protection until your next turn. So if you are trying to maybe build up a better amount of characters, but you know that they have better characters at the moment, you can kind of at least defend yourself till your next turn so that you can then, you know, maybe attach some objects or something.
Yeah.
Now, this card we've seen in the Discord, this is really cool. Bounce. Costs 2. You can return 1 character, location, or object of power to the owner's hand. There are so many ways that you could play this. So you could obviously choose a character on an opponent's canvas and bounce the character back. If you bounce a character and it has an object of power on it, that object gets erased. So they don't get the object back. As far as I'm aware, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong there, but I'm pretty certain that's what they said in the Discord.
Unless you've got the object of power that moves to a different
of course.
A different plane character.
But also you could use it for your own characters. You could actually bounce a character back to, you know, one of your characters back to your own hand so that you could play it again to get the action again.
Or to save it from an incoming attack that you know is probably going to be coming.
Absolutely. And, you know, or you could just use it to bounce, you know, let's say they've got their legendary out that costs 6. You could bounce their legendary back just so that they have to spend 6 again to play it again. You get a couple of bounces in a deck. Oh, look how cute he is. Cute. Daydrifter. So costs...
It's like a little rat bird.
Rat bird.
Oh, that's a pigeon, really.
So costs 1, and simply action is +1. So, okay, nice. Yeah, it's a really simple character. I'll be honest, by itself, let's be honest, quite terrible. It's just it's like a Draco Hatchling. It's just a free card. Yeah. But it would benefit you if you have other cards that say, you know, for X amount of characters on your canvas. And lastly, oh, that is such a beautiful location. That's like a Bob Ross piece of artwork there, almost. Cogs Village. Again, I think we actually have seen this in Discord. Yeah. It's just like Blueberry Grove. Costs 1. Gives you 1 back. I know that some people aren't, but I'm a massive fan of these cards that are essentially free to play because you'll get them back in this next turn. Yeah. And as long as they stay out for a little while, they just constantly give you more back. Very cool. Okay, so that is all of the commons and uncommons for that deck. I'm just gonna have a quick skim through Copper Joss to make sure that presumably all of the cards we're gonna see here are the same. Oh no, we have a new one here. We have Splat Teacher. So cost 3 is a +1, and the shard value of the cards whilst in the player's hand is reduced by yellow. So similar to the other cards we've seen so far. Very cool.
It's like a baby.
Let's see if we've got anything
Cornelius.
else new in this one. Looks like that is it.
Yes.
Okay, so that is all of those ones. So lastly then, we will look at the commons and uncommons that come into these 2 decks. You know what, I'm going to go from Flutterby Falls first because I just love this, this deck. Alrighty, so some of these are going to be the same. So we've already seen Splat Teacher, but Matron is a card we've seen in the Discord at least. She costs 4. She is a +2, so she'll pay for herself back in 2 turns. And the shard value of all cards whilst in player's hands is reduced by a blue Chroma shard, so similar to other cards we've seen so far.
Matron looks sweet.
She does, yeah. We've got Blueprint Swirl, heroic location.
Growth, then I got excited.
So it costs 2, and you get to gain X. So 1 for each of the following present on your canvas. Ooh, okay. I might need to ask that. I read that as one for each of the shards. So, for example, you know, it would be this card alone would be 2 because it's 1 blue, 1 there. I'm guessing it's not 1 per card with that because it would say that. So yeah, that's really strong. That's incredibly strong, actually. Wow, yeah, that's great. Let's see. I'm just kind of skimming through. Okay, this card we haven't seen yet. School Librarian, bless her.
Oh my god.
She costs 2. And the shard value, yes, we're seeing a similar theme here. The shard value of cards whilst in the player's hand is reduced by a green chroma shard. He is new. Again, similar theme here. Costs 3, is a +1. Oh, actually, no, sorry, this is different. Action is you get to find a card with a red chroma and shard value 3 less.
Very nice.
Yep, similar to the Curdle Hill Magus Elite character. Very interesting. Now, this one we have seen in the Discord. We've got Lava Fountain as a location.
Cool.
Lava Fountain costs 3, is a +1, and the shard value of red cards is reduced by 1. So the interesting thing here, imagine, I know I said we weren't going to talk about combos, but imagine if you had this one down so that Fire Tender then only costs 2. You then play Fire Tender, pick up a card that has a red, that has red shards, and then you'll be able to pay that for cheaper as well. So yeah, some good combos there. Let's see. We've also got Water Fountain. So we've got Lava Fountain. We've also got Water. And unsurprisingly, it is kind of a mirror thing here. Costs 3, but instead it reduces blue.
Dark blue.
Dark blue. Yes, specifically dark blue. I should mention that. We've got Toadstool Cannon. We have seen this in the Discord. Very funny. It is another block card because we haven't seen many of those. Costs 2. You know what? That's quite fair. Block 2 for cost 2. Oh, it's an object of power, I should mention. Okay, so next then is Chroma Worm. Very cool. Nice and simple. It's a character. Costs 1, block 1. Yep, nice and fair. Yeah. We then have another cute little bird character, Dracon.
Dracon, I think.
Dracon. Cost 2 is a +2. Yeah,
handy.
Very good. And then the last card we've got here is Dismantle, which is an action. Very, very interesting. I want to know what... I'm guessing that's paint.
Oh, no.
And yeah, cost 3 to erase an object of power and draw a card. So that's... We haven't seen that many objects of power in this realm, so that might not actually be that good a card. But the fact is, if there is an object, the fact you can erase it and then draw a card makes it worth the 3.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm just going to triple check.
The objects of power that we do have in these decks, though, are very strong.
Yes, that is very true.
Majority of them are, yeah.
Okay, and looks like, going through, it looks like we have now got all of the cards shown. So there we have it. That has been a little bit of a quick go through of every single card in the Fall of Flutterby, I should say. That's a hard habit to get out of. Fall of Flutterby, bless you, realm. So, what do you think, guys? Some really, really interesting cards there. Make sure to leave some comments of what card is your favorite, whether it's favorite artwork or favorite abilities. And in the next video coming out soon, we're going to do some games and see how they play out. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed seeing the Fall of Flutterby. And if you haven't already, make sure to check the links below to be able to order your own copy if you want to. Thank you again to Achroma and Realm Run Studios for sponsoring this video. Thank you very much, guys. I've been Foul Play Gaming. See you in the next one.